Now, today we'll be looking at domestic and international tourism. And specifically, we'll be looking at tourism performance, trends, and strategies in Kenya. And before we go to the depth of this lesson, I'll just give a preview of how domestic and international tourism is performing through a graphical representation. And when you look at this graph here, this is where we have the domestic tourism development, or rather the domestic market, and the international market is here. Now, what does it mean? It means that when you look at the international market, as per the description, it means that we have already reached our stagnation point. And when any destination comes to this stage, then we are saying we must explore different ways and strategies to develop that destination. Otherwise, if nothing is done, then we are saying that that destination will go down. And we know of specific destinations in the continent that are doing very well in terms of international tourism, like Zimbabwe, but late in 1990s and the year 2000, that destination went down because of different issues that affected that market. So this market is very fragile, and we know whenever there is travel advisory, then this market is affected. But now when we look at domestic tourism market, this is a market that has a lot of potential because it is still at the developmental stage, meaning we can leverage on this market and we can still get into new market segment and tap on its potential. Now, I want us to look at the trends in international visitor arrival and tourism earning in Kenya from the year 2014 to 2018. And if you look at this diagram, there is exponential growth all through up to 2018, meaning that the international tourism development in Kenya is on its upward curve, despite the many challenges that destination Kenya faces. Precisely, when we look at the year 2018 and 2019, when we do a comparative study, we can see that in the year 2018, Kenya earned 157.3 billion from tourism. And in the year 2019, it grew by 3.9% up to 163.559 billion. So it means the industry, the international market is still growing in Kenya. And a number of reasons have been given to earn that. Just for our noting, it is important to know that since our tourism industry was started way back in independence, this is the highest ever kind of earning that we have realized from the sector. Now, why do most of the international tourists visit Kenya? What is the purpose? We are saying, if you look at 2019, that is last year, we are saying 63.15% came for holiday, meaning that Kenya is a holiday destination because of the diverse tourism products that are available. And we boast of the sad beaches that are within Mombasa, or rather the coastline. Then 13.5% came for business. Then 10.6% visited this country through what we call VFR, visiting friends and relatives, and others like medical and education are comprised of 12.75%. So this means that Kenya is a top holiday destination, not only within the sub-Saharan Africa, but within Africa and at the global front. On the other hand, when we look at the performance of domestic tourism, it is still recording a bit of a growth, but it's not as elaborate as the international market, because so far the highest we have ever gotten is 750,000 domestic tourists. When we compare that with 2 million tourists, international tourists, then the domestic market has not grown as it is supposed to. Now, this is a comparison of what has happened in the last 2 years, 2018 and 2019. And we can see that the bed nights, that is how we calculate the number of domestic tourists based on bed occupancy. It was 4.48 million, and in 2019 it was 4.9 million tourists. We are not saying that all these convert to tourism-related activity. No, we are talking about people traveling from their native home to different facilities, either for other purposes, and the domestic tourism is still on it's still growing. Now, when we look at the National Tourism Blueprint 2030, we ask ourselves some fundamental question. Why is Kenya's tourism industry underperforming, whether at the international front or even locally? And a number of reasons have been given. And the first one is that we have failed to adapt and innovate the tourism industry in terms of the kind of services that we are offering. The second one is over-reliance on international market. So if you look at the way we have even segmented the international market, you know, we have talked about specific percentages why international market is doing very well. But when you look at the domestic market, that information is missing. And we have over-relied on this market, the international market. Then we also have another reason why the industry is underperforming. It is quite expensive, and there is no value for money. In other words, if I pick an international tourist from JKIA and take them to Nairobi National Park, and maybe they are not able to trace any of the big five, they feel they have not gotten the experience that they were looking for. Or if I go to Masai Mara and then I had promised them that they will see the migration of the wild beast and they see nothing, then they feel there is no value for money. And that's why we are saying we still need to refocus and know what other kind of tourism services and facilities we can leverage on. Then much of the accommodation is tired and require upgrade, especially within our coastal strip. We are saying that most of these accommodation facilities, they are old and they need to be renovated or upgraded in order for us to come to the international standards. Then there is also a continuing perception amongst Kenyans that Kenya is unsafe, and that has hit us so much within the industry. Then there is also overall limited financial resource being committed to the tourism industry. Though we are able to generate 163 billion, how much money goes back to the industry in terms of product development, in terms of marketing, and in terms of investment? That is still a question that is not fully addressed. Then we also have weak marketing activities and Magical Kenya brand. We know that marketing is done purely by KTB, both locally and internationally. But then we are also saying they are doing good, but they can still better their services. So we have a journey then as a country in terms of developing both the domestic and international market. And in this diagram, we can see that we have a suggestion on how we can develop both the domestic and the international market. And we are saying we can improve the existing tourism product. We need to carry research and plan for the same, so that every kind of development that is touching the industry is emanating from sound research. And then we are also saying that we need to maintain and sustain what we are doing best as a country. I had noted earlier that Diani Beach has been voted the best beach in Africa. So we need to sustain that. We need to embrace all the principles of sustainable tourism for us to continue that way. And lastly, we are also saying we need to diversify. And the reason why we diversify is to bring new product on board and capture new market also. Now, what are some of the factors that are impacting the growth of domestic tourism in this country? Are we saying that all is lost in terms of domestic tourism? No. We are saying that there are quite a number of factors that are influencing the growth of domestic tourism. And the first one is due to the increasing consumerism among the growing middle class, especially in urban area. Especially when we talk about, short holidays, people traveling to different destinations over the weekend. That is a market that is growing and can be tapped on. Then increased awareness and appreciation of tourism as a rejuvenating experience. So more Kenyans are embracing tourism because they also want to have that experiential experience as they travel to different destinations. So days are gone when we say that we are over-relying on international tourists, because even domestic tourists, they still need to go out and enjoy and relax and see the kind of different services that are on offer. Then the urban family unit is getting smaller, and this makes holiday more affordable. Then D, appreciation of the educational importance of travel among schools and colleges. And this is helping Kenya to grow this market segment. And this means that we are forming a strong travel culture amongst our schools and colleges. Then increase in sports travel due to popularity of sports like rugby and soccer. This is true because Kenya is a sporting nation. Then we are also saying that when we leverage on this, then we'll also continue expanding that market. Then there is also improvement of general infrastructure and superstructure. For example, we have seen massive road upgrades and expansion, and also SGR, which is currently transforming the way people travel. So within 4 hours from Nairobi to Mombasa, you can go and experience the different tourism products in the coast and come back the following day, and within 4 hours you'll be back in Nairobi. Then there is also innovation that is being pursued by different sectors through the bank, whereby the banks are in the process of developing credit facilities that can help domestic tourists to travel at ease through easier payment options. Then we also have increased understanding and appreciation of domestic tourism by the media. like the media has been having daily printout on Thursdays, urging Kenyans to travel. And this is very positive. We also know of the Tembea Kenya initiative, which is also transforming the industry. So what are some of the strategies that we need to embrace in order to develop domestic tourism? One of it is creating a local positive image of the destination. And this is only possible when we do massive campaign, like through that Tembea Kenya initiative. The rationale behind is just to create that positive image amongst Kenya, where we ask Kenyans to travel to different destinations. And also providing familiarization trips for locals, especially schools and colleges. Number 3, we have another strategy that we can deploy is low-priced packages for locals. We have seen this once in a while, where the government reviews the entry fee for national parks. And this is meant to help us boost travel into those destinations. Then we also have media coverage and editorial information, which makes Kenya a renowned destination amongst domestic tourists. The other strategy that we can deploy is hosting of tourism events like festivals. We have the Swahili or Lamu festivals and other kind of festivals that we have in this country. All of these are meant just to create awareness and urge local people to interact with tourists, whether locally or even from the international front. And then we also have branding, whereby we want to ensure that there is competitiveness in terms of the experiences that we showcase. And of course, we have also been having trade shows at the county level. Now, when it comes to the international market, we can also deploy quite a number of strategies. And the first one is to strengthen KTB as tourism marketing agency. And they should focus more on the BRIC market, the Brazilian, Russian, Indian, Chinese, and the Southerner, because that is an emerging market, and we know that this market is very promising. The other strategy that we can also deploy to promote international travel to Kenya is enhance collaboration between KTB and the Kenya mission abroad on destination marketing. Though KTB has been singled out to market Kenya, we know that we have different embassies and missions abroad, and we can also utilize them for that purpose. Then number 3, strategize on development of MICE and associated facilities. And this, we said earlier, that this is an emerging product, the MICE, the Meeting, Incentives, Conference and Exhibition product. So when we expand on this, we will continue hosting international forums like the one that we hosted sometimes back, the Economic Forum. Number 4, through effective branding of Kenya, and this is meant to help us as a country to compete with other destinations. We know that Kenya coined out the safari product, but today as we speak, the safari is also in Tanzania, it's also in South Africa, and we still need to continue rebranding ourselves so that we can continue experiencing growth in this sector. Then there is also that we also need to have a mechanism to get feedbacks from international tourists in terms of their experiences and the way forward. And we also need to smoothen the issuance of visas to foreigners, nationals, so that it is not that tedious, but have it more easier to help the international clientele engage in tourism activities. The last one there is incorporate diversification, innovativeness, and regard to tourism development initiatives in Kenya. So you also want to look at the tourism trends for 2020 and beyond. Now that Kenya is doing well in terms of tourism development, but we have not reached our peak, is all lost? And the answer is no. So what do we need to do? We need to understand that there is growth of solo travel in Kenya, that is individual, rather than traveling as a group. Most of the international tourists, they prefer now traveling as individuals. And we have seen that there is, an exponential growth, that 6.1% of the international visitors want to travel not as a group, but as individual. So that is a new trend. So it means that even when tour companies and tour firms are consolidating their holiday package, then they need to understand this new trend of solo travelers. Then number two, increased concern for value of money. No one wants to invest where they cannot get returns. And we know the episode that most of the international tourists, they save for a long time to come and visit destination Kenya. So they must obtain value for their money. And this is only possible through excellent service provision. Then number three, search for novel experiences. Want to have a new experience. And when tourists patronage an area again and again, it is because they have had an unforgettable experience, and this trend should continue. Then number four, we should also embark on what we call food tourism or cuisine. In other words, more international tourists, they want to experience the culture and even food habits of Kenyans. And Kenya is known to have rich cuisine. So this is an area that we can still tap on. Then we also need to search for genuine, authentic tourism experiences, whereby we are looking at new emerging products and tailor-make those products to meet that new trend. And then number six, tourism sector performance should, we should leverage on technology, and especially in the area of marketing and also booking or reservation. And then we should also make tourism services or tourism attractions accessible to tourists. And this will help us to grow the market. So all these strategic issues have been summarized as strategic pillars that will help us grow this industry. So when all is said and done, then we are saying when we deploy those strategies that we need as a country, we are saying that we will grow from where we are right now in terms of tourist arrival from 2.048 million in 2019 to the projected 5 million in 2030. So as you can see, there is potential for us to grow the industry. Then the other benefit is that today as we speak, we have 1.5 million Kenyans who are employed in the tourism industry, And we are projecting that if all strategies are put in place and we embrace the emerging trends, then by the year 2030, we will have had 3 million Kenyans employed. So it will be double of this. And in terms of revenue, then today we stand at 163 billion. And in the year 2030, we project to have hit 200 billion. And this one will be important because, as we know, the tourism industry contributes about 13.5% of the GDP. And that is the way to go. So we need to relook at the industry in terms of the performance, the trends, and strategies. And when we do that, then there is future for this industry. Thank you.
These televised lectures supplement our robust online learning going on our MKU online platform. You can view more on our televised lectures via our online platform. We are in a digital era, and Mount Kenya University knows this. The following are the steps to follow so as to complete your online application. Download the application form from the website www.mku.ac.ke. Attach copies of your academic certificates and ID. Pay the application fees via M-Pesa pay bill number 270988. Your ID is the account number. 2,000 shillings is the charge for a postgraduate. You can also deposit in the bank accounts provided on the website. Then email all the above to apply@mku.ac.ke.